Asensya na, nasa dorm lang kasi ako. Mahina ang signal or something wrong with my... But ito okay na?
Yes po, Comm. Okay naman po.
Carlo, ako ang... Carlo, paano ito, Ivan? Ako mag-traffic?
Comm?
Ako ang mag-traffic, Carlo?
Saan po?
I mean, sa program proper?
Ay, hindi po.
Or mag...
Sa presentation
okay.
lang po.
Okay, okay. Bakit nakasarado yung mga video nila? Walang nakikitang tao.
Intercom.
Hello.
Hello. So all our participants, make sure that you are watching right now our online meeting etiquette for you to be guided about our webinar. Once again, and welcome to the National Council for Physical Educators of the Philippines, Incorporated, in cooperation with the Seabad Santos Rotary Club Manila, present this NCPEP Fit Fun webinar series. Reminder to all our participants in FB Live and also in our Zoom meeting, don't forget to take a selfie towards the end of our session and post to our NCPEP FB page and group using the hashtags #NCPEP, #FitFunWebinar Series, #ILoveIT's Games. And this attendance link also will be provided to you in our comment section and also in our group chat here in Zoom. And this will be available until August 23, 2020, will be tomorrow at 5 p.m. Also, reminders to all our participants that you can have all the updates and inquiries of our group through our FB account and join our FB group and like our FB page. You can have our QR code. You can use your QR scanner on your phone to get it and go directly to our page and account. Also, we have our FB group. This is the QR code and our YouTube channel. All our videos, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and also press the notification bell for our next videos. The links also are there for you to write down or type it down in your web browsers. Okay, so once again, good afternoon, everyone. And I would like to welcome you all to our webinar series, and this is the series with our resource speaker. Allow me to present to you our resource speaker for this afternoon. He is the PSC Commissioner and also a graduate of Bachelor of Arts in Communication at the Liceo de Cagayan University. He started his career as a sports and news editor for Periodico Davao and Sunstar Davao, a leading community newspaper in Davao City. He also had stint as a consultant and as an editor for Edge Davao. His work experience as a credible journalist spanned for more than 28 years. He served as an executive program director at the Davao City Sports Development City Mayor's Office before he accepted his current position as the Commissioner of Philippine Sports Commission, the government's highest sports body. Without much further ado, let us all welcome our source speaker for this afternoon session, Commissioner Charles Raymond Maxey. Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Oo,
afternoon.
nakamuta. Yes.
Good afternoon, Ana.
Good
Am I
afternoon po.
coming in loud and clear?
Yes po.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this invite. I hope everyone is safe and well in their homes, surrounded by family. This has been a very challenging period to all of us. What with COVID-19 still very much around and continue to wreak havoc. The pandemic has made life miserable for all of us. Aside from health, this has created many concerns, like providing food for our family and additional expenses incurred in the preparation of our children's online classes. But in darkness, there is light. Together, we witness our collective strength in facing these dark times. Ensuring that we heal as one community is vital in making sure that our country can handle this challenge. It is in the same vein that the PSC envisioned the program Indigenous Peoples Games. With this program, we can showcase the culture and tradition of our IP brothers and sisters through sports and games. Their culture is ours too, and in exposing their practices to the wider public, we can contribute in grasping our identity as one nation with diverse background, heritage, and beliefs. Our IP communities tend to get overlooked. There is no proper, if not enough, focus in celebrating and promoting their tradition. So apart from producing the program, the Commission supports the move of Congress to institutionalize the IP Games. House Bill 3860, or the Philippine Indigenous Games Preservation Act, has passed the committee level and is now pending approval in the plenary. This bill will strengthen our efforts in coming up with genuine programs to preserve our IP's rich tradition. I hope that we can count on each other and every one of you in our shared pursuit as educators and citizens of this country to guarantee inclusiveness and incorporate discussions of our IP's culture and heritage. Thank you. Carlo? Can I continue?
Yes, po. Comm. Can you see the presentation, Comm?
Yes, Carlo, I'm still. Okay. The Philippine Sports Commission commenced the program Indigenous Peoples. Yes? Hello? Can I continue?
Yes, EA Carlo, pa slideshow na lang po ng presentation ni Comm Maxey.
Sige po.
Yan, para makita. Sige Thank you. Yan, Comm, para makita niyo po na maayos. Okay. You can continue, Comm. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the Philippine Sports Commission commenced the program Indigenous Peoples Games by virtue of the following laws, statutes, and declarations. Republic Act 6847 or the Philippine Sports Commissions Act establishing the PSC, whose mission is to create equitable opportunities for participation in sports by all sectors, which clearly encompasses the two of the indigenous people sector. So aside from the mandate of the PSC, we also have the Republic Act 8371 or the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act of 1997, where it is in the state's interest to preserve, promote, and protect the IP's culture and traditions and to develop, recognize IP's role in nation building. So there is also a declaration from UNESCO or an appeal from UNESCO to preserve the cultural heritage of the world. Uh, when PSC started the Indigenous Games back in 2018, it was part of our Sports for All program. The PSC's funding is to make sports accessible to every Filipino. So we, of course, recognize the IPs. So the reason why we came up with some legs around the country we started in 2018. The program's principle is anchored on the promotion, preservation, propagation of the traditional sports and games of the indigenous people's community. In coming up with the program, the PSC, of course, cannot do it alone. So we have to collaborate with the
Yes, Comm, Maxey. So I think we're having a problem or technical problem on the side of Comm, Maxey. So let us wait for a while.
Miss Anna,
Yes,
can I,
po.
can I give an insight lang while we were waiting for Com to come back?
Yes, sure. Go,
Yeah.
EA.
So as Com Maxi said, good afternoon everyone. I am Carlo Pates, the program head and the executive assistant of Com Maxi. So we implemented this IP Games project in 2018 in partnership with the NCIP. So as Com said, this project, this program of the PSC would not be possible without the help of the NCIP. So since they are the NCIP is the government agency in charge for the welfare of the IPs. So there are various procedures na we need to undertake before we conducted the project. So there were certain consultations, a number of consultations with NCIP before we proceeded to the implementation aspect. So there are strict procedures that NCIP has put in place before we conducted the program. Especially, there are limitations on the aspect of documentation, on the aspect of the coverage of the games, the coverage of the culture aspect of the IPs, not to violate their rights no, under the IPRA law, as Com mentioned a while ago. So the IP Games is just one of the sectoral programs of the Commission under the Sports for All program. There are other activities and programs as well, such as the Women in Sports, under the Gender and Development, Para Games, and the Children's Games. These are under various commissioners naman po. While for Comasi, sa kanya po to under the oversight of the IP Games, the Indigenous Peoples Games. Now, the concept of the program is centered on giving a platform for the IP community for them to showcase their culture and through their traditional sports and games. So we call it yung games ng IP, we call it the traditional sports and games. This is in line with the TAFISA standard, no, of definition. So this is the standard definition of TAFISA. So they call it traditional sports and games. This is the the side of the IPs naman po. Their tradition through sports. So, but the program of the PSE, we conducted it in a competition type setup. At the same time, there is also a preservation aspect of the program. Yun. Now for the related laws naman po, as Comm mentioned, there are the IPRA law, the Sports Commission Act naman po, na which states na kailangan there is a unified sports program for everyone, not just the regular, not just the para games, the differently abled, not just for the women. So there are also there should be a program for the IPs as well. So yun po. This is this is uh, in in sa pagsunod po, no, sa order ng presidente natin na bigyan ng opportunity yung IPs natin. Yun. Now, for the objectives aspect, yes po.
Sorry about
Yeah. Yes po, Comm.
sorry.
Yes po, Comm.
I'm really sorry kasi mahina yung signal ko.
Yes po, Comm.
To the participants, I would like to tell you that the PSE is currently on lockdown, so we cannot go to our offices. So I'm confined to my room here in Philsports. So pasensya na for the very bad signal ng net. The reason why naputol-putol yun.
Yes
But
po.
anyway, can I continue?
Yes po, Comm.
Ito kasing IP games when we started in 2018. Our objective, of course, is to preserve the culture and tradition. But aside from that, we have to raise the awareness of our millennials that there is such these traditions that are being left behind. You know, nowadays we have a with this advent of technology, nakakalimutan na yung ating mga laro sa nung unang panahon. So we launched the project in Davao del Norte. We have a total of 419 participants, young and old IP brothers and sisters natin. And then we followed this up in other areas. We went to Lake Cebu, we went to Ifugao, and we also went to Banawe. So, but in coming up with the program, we cannot, as I was saying kanina before tayo naputol, we cannot do it alone. So we have to partner with the NCIP and the tribal leaders on the ground. So before each activity is being staged or conducted, there were a series of meetings from PSC personnel and then the NCIP in the regional offices and together with the tribal leaders kasi our IPs have their own different guidelines or policies. And then meron ring mga iba-ibang laro. So we have to find the common games among them for us to continue or to stage the activity. So yun ang nangyari, a series of meetings talaga when we conducted the games. Hindi po madali ang IP games gawin. In fact, if I remember it right, we have a total of 4 to 5 meetings before talaga the actual games were being staged. And the tribal leaders actually insist that they will also participate. I mean, yung mga matatanda, kasi talagang yun ang gusto nilang gawin. For so long a time, hindi masyado na nabigyan ng pansin ng ating mga IP communities. So when PSC came in, under our chairman William Bus Ramirez, because he was the one who really tasked me to do this, to come up with this project. Honestly, at first I was really wala akong alam, but then I read, but before we came to PSC, when I was still in Davao, when we were still in Davao with Chairman Boots, he was the sports division chief, and I was one of the program directors. We staged the first tribal games in Davao back in 2014. And since then, kasi umalis kami, napunta kami sa national government. Since then, Davao City sustained the holding of the tribal games every August during Kadayawan Festival. So it's really heartwarming to see RP or engaging in their own games, like the binibayo, yung rice pounding example. So and the NCIP, actually we partnered with NCIP through a memorandum of agreement which we signed last year. Kaya lang meron kaming isang ginawang IP games last year. Kaya lang this was limited because of the Southeast Asian Games. So nung nagkaroon na ng preparation for the Southeast Asian Games, na we shifted our focus on the games, at kaya isang beses lang kami nakapag-hold ng IP games. We intend to hold sana more IP games this year. In fact, we already approved coordination meetings before the pandemic struck. So yun po ang naging istorya namin sa paggawa namin ng IP games. Hindi naman namin sinasabi, we're not saying that we are the ones who are knowledgeable to do this. In fact, we welcome any ideas, especially from you, kung ano man yung mga dapat gawin to improve the staging of the games. Carlo?
Comm.
Can you help me expound? Nagloko din ng aking iPad. Can you help me expound on the staging of the IP games? Ang ating mga yung mga tribo natin.
Yes po, actually we for the IP games po, we have involved at least more than 30 tribes po all over the country. One from various tribes po from Mindanao, Visayas, and Luzon. Actually, not just on the aspect of the project po, we are not just conducting it for the sake of competition. Actually, we don't call it competition. We call it games only, because from the IP standpoint po, competition is very technical, very like war talaga ang definition of competition. That's why we veer, or we do away with the term competition. So we go with the term games. So aside from that, we have 4 concepts po kasi on the aspect of the implementation, which is the games demonstration, games proper, and the 2 side events, which are the IP games exhibit and the IP games forum. Yun po yung 4 concepts ng program. That's what we do sa isang implementation, sa isang leg. So we go to the LGUs to ask them to host the games and involve their IPs na stakeholders. Then we go from there, no? The consultation with regards to the identification of the games, the identification of the guidelines, because we from the PSA do not have the knowledge of the guidelines of how these games are played. At the same time, these games have significant relevance sa daily lives ng ating mga IPs. It's not just like us that we're doing these games for the sake of fun. For the IPs, these traditional sports and games, these are games that are part of their daily lives. Just like the example Maxey gave earlier, the Bibinayo, it's a game of rice pounding, but they consider it a traditional game because, however, the Bibinayo is part of their daily life, no? So kanilang para makaani sila ng makuha nila yung bigas, they do the rice pounding, no? But for them, they can integrate it as a form of game. So ganyan yung difference ng laro ng IPs from us, no? Because their games, they have relevance sa kanilang daily, how they go with their daily lives. So yun, then the goal, one of the end goals of the commission for conducting the IP games is for the preservation and propagation of the games. That's why every after leg po ng pagconduct natin ng games, we secure yung mga materials ng mga games. We secure the game, the materials. Then siguro we're planning to put up a museum, no, within the PSC po, for us to exhibit yung mga with the along with the definitions, the guidelines of how of the equipment and how this equipment are used in traditional games ng mga IPs. So yun po yung dun papasok yung aspect ng propagation and preservation aspect ng program. Then on the IP forum naman po, that's where consultations with the tribal leaders, with the NCIP, the LGUs, LGU officials, no, kung paano pa natin mapapaganda yung future staging ng games, or in fact, we want to empower the LGUs, no, to conduct their own mini games, IP games. No, kasi the IPs have celebrations or mga fiestas or town fiestas, LGU festivals. No, they can integrate kasi the IP games little by little. So that's what we also do during the IP forum. At the same time, we ask for any aspect of the program where we can improve. So there are consultations po talaga that we are doing during the program po. Then yun po, but most importantly, the identification of potential athletes in sports among the IPs, no, particularly in the youth. So kasi later on po matatouch natin yung topic of why we need to tap potential athletes from the IPs as well. Kasi as you know, we have national teams po, no, for regular sports, no. But we also encourage the IPs, no, or we scout for talents among IPs to be part of our national team. So there are various games po ng IPs na pwede silang makasali sa national team. For example, the PANA game of the IPs from Davao del Norte, no? We have the archery naman po in the SEA Games, Southeast Asian Games. So doon tayo pwede nating itap yung mga potential talents natin from among the IPs po. Yes, Comm. Comm.
Thank you for that, Carlo.
Yes po.
I would just like to add, allow me, I would just like to add, the Committee on Youth and Sports Development, headed by Congressman Eric Martinez, has already passed the House Bill 3860, or the Indigenous Peoples Preservation Act. So with that bill, if it will be passed into law and eventually signed by the president, this will definitely enhance or strengthen the program on our brothers and sisters IP, or on the IP communities. Kasi as of now, we don't have yet a law on this, except for the mandate of the PAC and the one that we cited earlier. But with this House Bill 3860, it will now make the program more meaningful. We can now launch or conduct good several programs for our RP community. When we conducted the leg in Puerto Princesa last year in Palawan, we attracted a good number of participants, and they were saying, the tribal leaders were saying that how come that this is the only time that you're holding this? Why not make it a regular activity? But of course, we in conducting this kind of activity, it would entail budget. And for a PSC, a small agency like PSC, we don't have that much funding to really make this a regular one. But as I've said, we were planning, or we were really set to hold a series of IP games this year. Kung hindi lang dumating yung problema natin sa COVID-19. So that's the story of the PSC in as far as conducting the IP games. I think this is the first time that the PSC really came up with this something, an activity for the IP community all over the country. We also went to Ifugao back in 2018, as far as Ifugao. And in this year, for this year, sana we were planning to stage more activities in Luzon. To include sana yung Zambales, kasi maraming kwan din dyan, yung mga ETA, yung mga ating mga katutubong ETA. Any question from the participants?
So I think, Comm, we will open the floor later for the questions. You can continue your presentation po. Thank you.
Okay. So yun lang. I hope we hope to come up with really more activities, something that will really inspire the youth of today, na nakakalimutan na nung meron palang mga ganitong traditional games ng ating mga katutubo, ng ating mga ninuno. So nung unang panahon, kasi yung mga kabataan natin ngayon hindi nila alam yung mga ganitong this kind of games. I myself, I was amazed when we went around during the staging of the games. I saw to it that I'll be around to witness, to be part of this meaningful journey for our IP communities. In Davao City, we have 11 tribes in Davao City. So every year, we hold the Kadayawan Festival, and part of the activities yun nga is the holding of the tribal games, which we launched back in 2014. Ang mga age na range ng from 18 years old to 19, but meron ding mga legs na talagang yung mga mas younger IPs pinasali. And I don't know if I missed what Carlo said, but yeah, I heard he mentioned we also conduct IP forum, kung saan ang speaker namin ay knowledgeable din sa ating IPs, in the person of Professor Henry Daot. Siya ay isang veteran on the IPs. I think he attended the world We also collaborated with the Department of Education, of course, kasi some of the participants, of course, are in school, or yung ating mga young participants. And of course, in providing security in every leg that we have staged, in every leg, in every area, we have to collaborate also with the AAP and PNP for our security. Sila po yung nagbabantay, o sila yung nagbibigay ng security sa ating mga kalahok or participants during the staging of the games. So this is not just a one government agency doing it. Of course, we are spearheading the activity, but as I've said, PEC cannot do it alone without the support of the NCIP. Of course, the LGU where we stage the games, talagang we coordinate with the local government units. Sila kasi yung nakakaalam ng kanilang lugar, or sila yung may alam kung anong mga tribo yung nasa kanilang lugar. And I forgot to mention that one of the vital agency that are helping us, of course, is the DILG. Kasi sila yung sa kanila yung mga LGUs. And of course, ang partner namin na private sector, which is the Philippine Olympic Committee. Olympic Committee, part pa rin yun ng ating partnership. Hindi lang namin ang IP games nga, hindi lang ito PSC. Kami lang yung nag-spearhead, but we got the support of everyone, every agency, and of course the NCCA. Kasi when we stage the tribal games or the indigenous people's games in Puerto Princesa, sa forum namin nandoon ng mga taga NCACA to assist. Sila yung nag-research ng ating development of the games. Nagluloko kasi yung iPad. Nawawala yung aking... Carlo, did I miss any slides? Or
just to add lang, Comm, dun sa contribution
yes,
natin or participation natin, when it comes to international arena naman, that's why we're also scouting, no? That's why we're conducting different legs all over the country so that we can scout for talents na pwede po nating ipadala for international competitions. Kasi there are, just like for regular sports po, meron din pong parang SEA Games, ang mga traditional sports and games. And it is called the World Indigenous Games. And meron din pong TAFISA, which is the Association for International Sports for All. So dito naman po na competitions, ang in-highlight naman po nila is the IP games, no? Yung mga unique and yung very common games. So that's the difference po nito with the regular competitions na events po. For the usually po yung mga nilalaro nila dito is pana while on board a kabayo, mga ganun na pong level, and the sibat, mga ganung competition po na nilalaro sa World Indigenous Games and sa TAFISA po. So, yun. Yes, Comm.
Thank you for that, Carlo. I can still see others joining the meeting.
Yes po.
Miss Anna,
Yes, Comm. Yes po.
I think I'm done with the. Kasi mas maganda yung may mga question.
All right. So, okay, we can open the floor for some questions. Then
Ma'am Ana.
later po, then yes, EA.
Before we go proceed to the questions, no, I'll just go through over the rest of the presentation, especially yung
Please.
mga example ng games. So, as I've said, ito po yung 4 concepts namin: traditional sports and games competition, demonstration, the forum, and the photo exhibit and the photo contest po. Ito po yung components ng IP games namin. So, sa isang leg, ito po ang nangyayari within a 3-day period po. On the first day, there's the opening, then followed by the demonstration wherein everyone or the spectators can try the games, no. Then the competition or the games proper will commence the following day, wherein various tribes or groups will compete, no, with a designated cash prize, no, at stake po. Maliit lang naman po, but maliit lang yung prize namin because our goal is not to entice them with the prize. Instead, we want them to really play for the preservation and the promotion of their game. So very minimal lang po yung price at stake, but it's just a compensation for their effort and for coming or joining the program. Then the IP forum is set on another day, then the photo exhibit, wherein yung compilation ng photos from the opening until the end po will be displayed po. So nagagawa namin siya within that 3-day period na nakokolate natin yung mga photos. And the photo contest naman po is nangyayari wherein amateur and professional photographers are invited to join and submit their entries, also with cash at stake po, prizes at stake. Now, sa games demonstration aspect po, there are at least 3 to 5 traditional sports and games ang played or to be demonstrated, and this is endorsed by the tribal group of a certain host LGU. So eto, usually ang nilalaro po dito is the unique games, yung hindi common. So like later I'll show you some of the pictures of those common and non-common games. Then, as I've said, spectators may participate in the games after the demonstration to experience and learn the games. Now for the competition, a minimum of 6 to 8 traditional games will be conducted in the competition proper. Nagde-depend po siya kung with the tribal leaders ng host LGUs kung ilan and how complex or how common. But usually, we set the guidelines na dapat common games yung lalaruin for the games proper. Yon. As I've said, there are cash prizes and medals to be awarded to the winning top 3. It's like a regular competition pa rin. There's a champion, first runner-up, second runner-up. And they can win prizes and medals.
Carlo,
Yes po.
do you have a slide for the photos?
Yes po, Comm later po.
Makita nila
Yes
yung
po.
photo.
Yes po.
Thank
Then
you.
the forum po, wherein participants from LGUs, CHED, DepEd, students. No, so we also invite students. So, and minsan sila pa yung engaged with the discussion during the forum. So, yun po. And the photo exhibit, yun. As Comm mentioned earlier, 18 years old below yung age category, and we have the 19 years old and above. So there is 2 age brackets po for the games for the IP games.
Huwag mo na lagyan ng ano kasi sa pen. Bago ka matulog doon.
Next would be the identification of the games po, no. Ito po yung mga na-identify nating games na common among the 5 legs na nagawa po natin sa PSC po, na nagawa ng PSC. Pana or the archery in regular sports, bangkaw or javelin, which is also in regular sports, This one is very common, tug of war. Next is the munbayo. They have variations sa mga names nila, but it's a traditional rice pounding. So they include it as a form of competition also. Next is the kadang-kadang, which is very popular naman. I know everyone knows. And next, the dagan or the athletics. The unique traditional sports and games. Ito po yung mga na-identify namin over the course of our conduct of the games. Blow dart, lechon race, no? Basket sa likod, or basketball. It's a traditional basketball. Sa tanggong, sudol, or pulling. Ito naman po ang kabaliktaran ng tug of war. Instead of pulling, pushing siya. Sorry, mali po yan. It should be pushing, no? Not pulling. Sudol is pushing, kabaliktaran ng tug of war. Sedeyol, Biklifak, Bliboy. This one is in Ifugao. The Laba Race. Pakidan. Bultong Wrestling. Mayon Kudalaw. Dupat Baboy. Tapos Pakidan. And so on. Ito po yung mga na-accomplish ng pag-conduct ng projects, but more on, let's go to the photos na lang po. Now, this is the kadang-kadang of Lake Cebu in South Cotabato. This is Lake Cebu's version of kadang-kadang po. A traditional game usually practiced by communities to cross rivers or high rivers or even floods. So, as I've mentioned earlier, hindi lang siya regular sports. For them, it's their way of life, no? Pag may tatawid sila ng river, they use the kadang-kadang. No? But for us na hindi IP, we see it as a game lang. So for them, the bamboo is for the men, while for the women naman po is the bao. No? Kaya nalalaman natin na merong variation. So as we conduct the project or the program, we also learn from the IPs, no, with the different significance, the historical background, and the data po nila. And there are specific measurement for the height of the equipment. So ganito po ang mga na-identify natin over the course of the program. This is the Lake Cebu's version of kadang-kadang. Next one is Hemanak or archery. This one is also in Lake Cebu, South Cotabato. Hemanak naman or archery is used by the IPs in Lake Cebu for hunting, for food, and weapon naman po during tribal war. So yan. So may specific range or size din po or length yung yung arrow, and at the same time very all of the materials are really made by the IPs, no? Sila tapos binibigay nila sa atin sa commission po. Next would be the Hemanak naman po while nakakabayo po. So this is a very this is for demonstration lang during the Lake Cebu leg, and very complex nga ang ginagawa nitong IP natin na nagdemo. So she was targeting a rolling I think it was an watermelon po ata na pinagulong while he was circling around dun sa area po and trying to hit the target. So the Hemanak tests the precision and ability of the archer to hit the moving target, particularly animals or even a person. Now this is sudol. This is the opposite of tug of war. Instead of pulling, pushing naman po. So dapat ma-push mo siya using the pole outside the circle, no? So this game tests the agility and energy of each player or opponent. So this is played only by one individual siya. Unlike the tug of war. Yan. This one is also in Lake Cebu. Now this one is blow dart naman po. Also in Lake Cebu naman po to na identify natin. Using bamboo din siya, pero maliit. They call it the seben. And a grass seed subongbo. Ito yung maliit na piece of parang dahon din po siya na nirorolyo po siya ng maliit na pabilog na ginagamit pong bala. No? So, the player puts the subongbo inside his or her mouth and release it by blowing po to hit the target. So, meron din, ang target po nito is same with the with archery, meron din pong target bat. But for foot naman po, they have variations naman po with yung ginagamit nilang bala. Some use yung may matulis na dulo. So yun. Next would be the Mayon Kudalaw. This is usually played by young boys and girls. So technically, this is a demonstration of how or paano sila mga bayo. So they reenact it and they perform it or they do it in a form of a race, like a relay. No? So this is how they perform, yung horse racing nila. Now, as I've said earlier, ito yung version ng kadang-kadang ng Ifugao naman for women. No, pag babae, bao, kadang-kadang sa bao, they call it. As much as possible, yung participants po natin for the games, we want to divide it into the 19 years old and below category and the adult category. We want to involve as much as possible yung mga younger generations because that's the concept of passing down para sila po yung maka-benefit. Because some of these kids or the younger generation of the IPs do not really know na how these games are played or very minimal lang ang kanilang engagement or mga activities with traditional sports and games. This one is Kadang sa Bagul, no? In Ifugao, Lagawe, Ifugao in 2018. This one is one of the games played in Lagawe, Ifugao also. They call it the log race, obviously because they carry a log, no? But they do it in a form of a race to a certain checkpoints, no? Parang may marathon to na kailangan dadaan sa certain checkpoints, ipasa-pasa po nila. So it's a relay also, a relay game. So the log race, according to the elders in Ifugao, highlights the daily struggles of the Igorots of bringing logs and other farm materials to their community. So as you can see, that's the significance of this log race. Yan. It's a relay game. So sa kalsada, no? And they wear the traditional attire of the IP. So we also require everyone, no, our participants, the elders and the adults, to wear the traditional attire of their tribes. Yan. This one naman po is the Munbayo or the game. This one is also in Lagawi, Ifugao. This is the traditional rice pounding, no. So sa likod nitong as you can see in the picture, meron pa pong nagbabayo diyan sa likod niya. So tinataktak ni ate, then bibigay niya doon sa magbabayo sa likod. And the criteria for this game, sino yung pinakamagandang output na bigas and the quantity, no? Kasi binibigyan natin sila ng 1 kilo, I think, worth of yung palay. Tapos they have to produce a good quality and yung quantity hindi masyadong bawas. So yun. So it has balance and precision. This one is Dopap de Baboy, no? For us, we just see it as a paghuli ng baboy, but for them, it's a very special tradition sa mga Ifugao. Kasi it symbolizes na they are about to celebrate something sa kanilang it's either in the household or within the tribe. So meron silang sinaselebrate. Kaya they do the Dopap de Baboy o yung paghuli ng baboy. Then ito po yung number of participants natin over the legs. Usually we set our numbers to 300 participants, but we always exceed the numbers because of the interest of our tribes, no? So very interested talaga. And I think the more LGUs that we can visit and conduct this program, no, siguro mas malalong ma-empower sila to promote the traditional sports and games. In Lake Cebu, we have 332 participants. Ifugao, so 400, almost 500. And we also get feedback, no, from our participants. So every conduct of the program, we provide them ng mga evaluation, yung mga leaders nila, the LGUs, the NCIP. So we involve everyone to give their feedback on how we did the program. So where we can improve, where we can change it and improve it and make and probably include ba or magdagdag pa ng something sa program. But as you can see sa graph natin, medyo positive yung nasa 70% ang approval, above average naman is 22.4. There are of course and in every program naman po or project hindi po talaga yan perfect. So there is also areas na kailangan pang kailangan pang improve na nakikita ng ating mga participants. So yun po. Yes,
thank you,
Comm.
Carlo. I would just like to add, I don't know if Carlo was able to mention this nung nawala ako, but isang part ng activity ng IP Games is the conduct of a ritual. Merong
Yes, Comm. Comm. As Comm mentioned po, there is a ritual na kinakonduct po talaga in every start of the leg, no? Sa lahat ng legs na pinuntahan namin, meron talagang the program will start with a ritual. Ang ritual wherein meron pong kakatayin na animals as offering po sa mga gods ng mga IPs. So meron silang kinakatay na animals and yun, that serves as a ritual na. So that's a requirement of the tribes as well before we can start the program.
Yes, because in every activity, in every leg that we conduct, the tribal chieftains or the tribal leaders really insist on holding the ritual where they slaughter pigs or chickens and then murmur some prayers. It's a tradition that we have to follow. So talagang ginagawa. In every activity, in every leg, iba-iba. There was even a time when we were in, I think it was in Lagawi, na
Yes po.
meron pang pinapainom sa amin na wine na hindi ko maintindihan, but of course we have to abide by the culture. We have to respect their tradition. So, yun ang isang importanteng aspect ng ating IP games, yung ritual. Kasi sa kanila talaga, not only in games but in every activity, talagang they have this ritual before the start of that activity. So, isang magandang aspeto yun ng ating IP games na pinakonduct in every activity, in every leg. Thank you.
Now on the aspect, I'll just go over the accomplishments ng program, no, over the 5 legs na nakonduct natin. So for our accomplishments, no, we do it by the project component. So for the games demonstration, our aim is awareness po kasi. Now, through the conduct of the IP games and the demonstration aspect, no, there are certain LGUs, no, and yung mga participants natin, the tribal leaders, na-empower natin sila to conduct or to institutionalize also the regular conduct of IP games within their own level, no? Barangay level, tribal level. So na-empower natin sila and they affirm or they promise to do it, no? In fact, nagiging I hope, no, they merong follow through sila dun sa naging So they na-empower sila because of what they observe, no, with our conduct of the game. They said they can also do it, you know, and that's what we want for the LGUs also, na ma-empower sila to conduct this for the IP na constituents nila. Also, concept of passing down is na-fulfill natin because most of participants natin with the legs are younger generation of IPs, which we are very, very happy. Now, we also encourage some IPs to produce their own research studies through the help of their local NCIP, no? Na-empower din natin sila and na-encourage the promotion of the games, no? Now, for the another accomplishment is the preservation and sustainability, no? We have mobilized yung IP leaders and women's council nila with the conduct of our games, no? So during the consultations and meetings that PSC conducted prior to the start of the program, dito na empower natin na mag-participate dapat yung mga IP groups, yung leaders nila, women's council na activate sila because of our project. And because of that, they are also empowered na to conduct regular meetings and to include little by little yung mga maliliit na IP games competition during their mga celebrations nila. Yan. And we consider this an accomplishment, the identification of the games, because this is part of our data. The unique traditional sports and games. Education, no, there are certain LGUs or the LGUs na we've visited na meron ding mga, yung iPad nila is nagkakandak na sila sa kanilang iPad ng traditional sports and games regularly. So that's why in some LGUs we want to empower them na dapat yung mga iPad, no, Indigenous People's Education na curriculum under DepEd ma-empower sila to conduct the IP games, especially in areas na very dominant or very yung number of IPs are very evident. And that's why we encourage them for the inclusion yung sa iba, and this is in partnership with DepEd. Yeah. And some LGUs created a kabataan-led IP council, no, to for them to have a parang representation to the tribal group nila sa LGU. And the documentation aspect collated the equipment after the games and yun. For exhibit naman yun. And I think that's all.
Thank you, Carlo. Thank you. Ana?
Thank you very much, Comm Maxey and EA Carlo, for sharing us your project in Philippine Sports Commission, especially or particularly in Indigenous People's Games. So let's see, we will open some questions, or we will answer some questions po kasi it's already here in our Zoom group chat po. Let's start with this one. So with Ma'am Joanne Gresha. For the information po, sir, si Ma'am Joanne Gresha is our previous speaker po. She is advocacy also, or advocating about Indigenous People's Games din po. So she is a professor in University of the East. According to Ma'am Gresha, hi sir. Other than conducting game and play events on IP games and sports, is PSC documenting these games and sports to produce a collection or literature? So far, only a handful literature exists on Philippine games and sports, like Lopez in 2001 and Anima in 1977 and Tubera for Kapampangan Games.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for that question, ma'am. Yes, we are documenting the activities that we have staged. In fact, we are planning to come up with some sort of a coffee table book on the games, so that we can disseminate this or to provide this to schools in the future. It is in a planning stage that we have some photos, of course, and then we have some articles that we can come up with some sort of a coffee table book on the games of this tradition. And of course, we cannot just do this without the approval of the NCIP. We will collaborate with the NCIP on this aspect, on this project. of course the NCCA. Kasi nga hindi naman ang PSC is not really our mandate for the indigenous peoples, but since it was also in our RA 6847, and then we have to collaborate with the NCIP and NCCA. So hindi lang po ang PSC ang gagawa nito, but we have to partner with these two agencies in coming up with this book. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Another question po sa FB Live natin, sir. From Sir Bonifacio Leda, what is the best way to encourage some of our IPs to preserve their traditional games nowadays as well as their writings po?
Yeah, thank you for that question. The only way to encourage them to participate or to come up with activities is for us in government or any group. Talagang we have to come up with some sort of activity. Kasi if you don't bring these games to them, to their areas, wala rin. Kasi nga they will be parang ang isip pa nga nila, they are being left out or neglected. So government really has to come to them by holding these activities sa kanilang area, and then to listen to them, to listen to their tribal leaders, to their tribal chieftains, what ano ang dapat gawin para to promote, to preserve this tradition. Very rich yung tradition ng ating mga IP community. So government really has to go to them for us to come up with something meaningful. And then this way we can preserve or propagate the rich culture of our IPs.
Okay, sir. Comment from Sir Ronnie Baldos, no? So I think he is encouraging also the PSC, your officers, partnership with the DepEd Bureau of Learning Delivery can help the PSC showcase that or teach IP games to our learners.
Yeah, of course. As I've said earlier, PSC cannot do it alone. We have to partner with the other agencies. That's a welcome development if we are going to partner with DepEd in promoting the culture of IIP community. So talagang malaking tulong yun, and we welcome that as part of our collaboration. And then we have to come up with regular conduct of these events through this to the help or the assistance of these agencies. We very much welcome that in a collaboration will really greatly help in the promotion of this heritage and culture of our community.
Opo, sir. Ito pa, kay Ma'am Adele. So, sir, aside dun sa pagpapalaro po, so do you have any plans in the future to integrate the Indigenous games in PE curriculum po? Although, in the PE K-12, meron naman talaga siyang, pero yung mga bago po na pinresent niyo po.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. Of course, we are ready to sit down with DepEd officials, the DepEd personnel. Pag-usapan natin kung ano yung ating itutulong or ano yung kailangan gawin para mapalawak or to strengthen our program. Definitely, we welcome that, and we are happy to sit down with DepEd officials on this aspect.
Kasi we saw that yung project po ng PSC, it's very good talaga, that especially we are not concentrating in yung mga regular sports, but also we give importance also to our Indigenous people's games na dapat talaga to promote and to cultivate more and to share to other, especially to our next generation, this IP games po, no? So another comment from our FB group, Sir Martin Guy Barona, that this program or targeted program is very brilliant, so helpful not only for sports skill development but also for educational development too. Okay, yan po. Puro comments, sir. And they are looking forward to be part of this project, sir. There are some who are asking also how to join this project or this activity of PSC, because I think there are some teachers here are also exposed in different Indigenous games in their corresponding or respective area or provinces. For example, here, sir, yung sa PNU North Luzon, according to Ma'am Let Cariaga review. At PNU North Luzon, through our graduate student, did a documentation from Kalinga, Mayoyaw, and Paracelis already. Yung mga documented nila po siguro to na mga games or IP games.
Yeah, Ana. I would just like to mention also, Ana, di ba sa DepEd, during the staging of the Palarong Pambansa, they have already this Larong Pinoy, which you started 2 years ago, I think in Davao City.
Apo.
So that's a good activity. Talagang even the Palarong Pambansa, andyan na ang ating mga katutubong laro, the IP game. So that's a laudable move of DepEd to include that. I think you do that during opening ceremonies or at least before.
Apo.
Thank you.
So actually, this program is also embedded in our DepEd curriculum. At the same time, it's also included in the Palarong Pambansa. Before the start of the official games of our regular sports, our DepEd officials, our regional officials, and other officials from Philippine Sports Commission and coaches and teachers are joining all together to play the different Palarong indigenous games, Larong Pinoy.
Yeah.
Ayan, sir, meron silang mga already documented na mga ano, baka pwede nyo po silang i-tie up dito kasi meron na po silang mga documented articles and documented I think thesis titles documentation and analysis of traditional games of Kalinga, another documentation of traditional games of Paracelis Mountain Province.
Yeah, Ana, all they have to do is to communicate with us. Just send a letter para we can make it official. Of course, again, that's a welcome development. In fact, I'm happy that with this activity this afternoon, doon natin nalaman na talagang marami talagang interesado or they're into it. So we really have to spread the word, of course, propagate ang ating mga heritage and culture. So they just send us letters or communication informing us of their desire or their intention for us to share this documentation with them.
Opo, kami rin. Even the NCPEP, sir. Even us. NCPEP, we are really open to be part of this project because this is one of our advocacy also, not only promoting sports in regular sports or in fitness. Siyempre, of course, also preservation of our culture and tradition through different IP games. And also, yes, ma'am, sir.
Alam mo, Ana, the reason bakit maganda talaga, just like what Carlo said, at sinasabi ka ito palagi in every leg that we stage. Actually, it's not about just the games. This is their way of life. Ito yung buhay ng ating mga IP community na dapat na-preserve. So that really makes this special. If you're engaged into something like this, come up with activities that will really center or focus on the IP community, that's really something. So we in the PSC, we really welcome any assistance or any collaboration with any group, even in private sector, just to continue our propagation or to preserve our culture. Thank you for that.
May nag-volunteer na. Maraming nag-volunteer na. And even Professor Joanne Gresha already. Ma'am Gresha, you can turn on your mic and you can speak to our commissioner po. Yan.
Yes,
kasi nasa si
Yes,
yan,
Professor.
Si
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, ma'am, I think alam ko you're more knowledgeable than me in this endeavor, but I will really love to collaborate with you, ma'am. Kasi
thank you very much po.
Marami kang expertise na matatransfer sa amin.
Sir, sobrang ganda ng inyong programa. So, alam ko po marami pang laro ang kailangan pa nating malaman at mas maganda na malaman pa ito ng mas maraming teachers, mas maraming tao. Kasi ako po mismo, yung pinipresent nyo po yung mga games kanina, kahit ako, anong lugar kaya itong game na to? So hindi ko pa po naririnig yung mga pangalan na yun. So sabi ko, baka katulad din ako ng marami. Ang dami namin hindi alam na laro. So, ito po yung
Ma'am
pagkakataon para
Joanne,
malaman namin ito.
Ma'am Joanne,
Yes, sir.
kung if everything goes back to normal at saka pwede na yung mga mass gatherings, meron tayong, I can even invite you to our future
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Indigenous People's Games.
Ay,
Oh, yan.
maraming po salamat. Ako po ay willing na
Salamat, ma'am.
willing. Willing na willing
Ma'am,
po.
I'm happy to know that you're into this, your passion for our culture, our IPs, and I'm happy for that. And I as I've said, we at the PSC is willing to collaborate with you. I think of course we need also your expertise in this field para madagdagan yung aming kaalaman sa ating pag-propagate ng ating
Wala pong problema. At
IPs, ma'am.
sigurado po akong marami rin ang nandito sa
Opo.
Zoom na to at sa FB ang katulad din po na gusto
Ayan,
rin tumulong.
in-open mo na ko, mandami ito din nagsasabi.
Yes,
Ayan,
gusto
sila, sir.
Gusto ko lang sabihin to the participants in this afternoon's activity, ako yung dapat magpasalamat sa inyo for allowing us to discuss this kind of very meaningful journey of ours. And I think, and I also believe that you yourselves are interested in coming up or in engaging in this kind of activity. Salamat
Opo,
sa inyong
sir.
lahat.
Kasi syempre, they're coming from different parts of the Philippines. So I know they have a lot of information, already experienced their own different IP games.
Yeah.
Mas dami na nito sila Sir Abdul, gusto na rin sumama, sila Ma'am G. Montellano, yung mga sa FB natin po. And they're willing to join and willing to be part of this advocacy of the Philippine Sports Commission, sir. Especially these people are already in the field, those who are already in the CHED, in the DepEd. I know they can promulgate the advocacy of ours in the Philippine Sports Commission.
Yeah. Tama yun, Ana. Like I've said, we need expertise ng ating mga kasama dyan sa education sector. So I'm happy. In fact, doubly happy in this afternoon's activity. Marami talaga palang interesado like Ma'am Joanne. So kaya lang, hindi ko lang...
Gusto niya paglaroy pa sa Ayala Alabang Comm. Para siguro yung mga bata natin doon, mas maging familiar sila doon. Si Sir Abdul nagsabi, nandito sa taga Ayala Alabang, and they really want to expose, I think, the kids there.
In fact, Ana, if everything goes back to normal nga, ako mismo ang pupunta sa inyo, magbisita ako just to discuss this.
Thank you,
Kung saan
Comm.
kayo mapuntahan.
We can also, yung PNU North Luzon, nagsasabi na rin sila sa Isabela. I think we will talk to Dr. Dr. Madonna in the PNU North Luzon because they have already compiled some of the IPs or games that already presented or they are playing in their own respective communities.
Kasi itong mga lugar na ito, itong mga areas na ito, they have their own also tribes, different tribes. At saka merong mga different games yan.
Yes.
In fact, Isabela, hindi pa natin napuntahan, Carlo, di ba?
Yes.
Eh,
In fact,
sige man. Sige, Comm, sabihin natin kay ang ating pong board or ating chairman ng board of directors natin na si Dr. Lordino Vergara from Philippine Normal University is the one of the ating provost po ata sa North Luzon. So, he can help us together with the PE majors po natin doon. And also, Dr. Deza Orbistondo from Surigao del Sur State University.
Wow.
O, ayan, nagvo-volunteer na ng syllabus natin, Comm.
Kaya I'm happy na ako'y natutuwa dyan, Ana, sa kanilang. It's really heartwarming to know of the positive response of our educators. So, natutuwa kami.
Ayan pa, meron pa si Doc Magalona sa PNU South Luzon, ata si Doc Magalona from PNU South Luzon, and also Dr. Gose of PNU Mindanao. Sir, we can tie up with this university.
Yeah, I'm willing. I'm interested to meet you guys on this aspect. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, I think there are other questions. Parang ayaw na nila magtanong, Comm. They are so excited about this project.
you know
And
what?
also, yes po.
You know what? Kung andun lang kayo, of course, hindi naman natin ito pala, I will have to explain baka at the back of their minds meron silang iniisip na bakit ito mga areas lang pinuntahan, hindi kami, hindi na. Ganito kasi yun, when we started this, we sent out letters to LGUs. I just don't know kung ilang LGUs din ang napadalahan namin ng sulat or na nabigyan namin ng communication, but kung ang LGU mismo ang magsulat, they will reply, they will write us back expressing their desire to have the IP games staged in their area. Yun agad na pinapuntahan namin. But of course, limited din kasi yung budget namin, kaya hindi talaga namin naikot ang laki-laki ng buong bansa. Ang talagang have to come up with something big. But anyway, since our friends from the education community, they're expressing their desire, sabi ko nga, I'm happy and I'm willing, even ako mismo ang pupunta sa inyo kung saan tayo pwedeng mag-meet, kung normal na. Kasi naka-confine tayo lahat at our homes with this problem, and hopefully meron na tayong breakthrough, meron tayong vaccine or what. But anyway, having said that, I'm really interested and I'm even happy that you invited me over for this. Kasi parang kami ngayon ang nag-benefit doon sa ating activity, hindi kayo. Kasi ito, alam mo Ana, I don't pretend to know everything. Itong ating mga educators like Professor Ana or Joanne, mas marami silang alam. And I'm willing to partner with them, itong ating mga teachers, educators, para mapalawak or to strengthen our program. Yun ang magandang
I think
mangyari.
we can set this meeting po, Comm at saka EA Carlo, and we will have a core group and collaborate with our members and also those who are expressing their intention to be part of this core group para talagang all over the Philippines yung ating promotion ng ating IP.
Sure.
Actually po, the basis of the selection of the LGUs is based din po sa demographic, no? Kung saang areas po medyo marami yung IPs. And this data is from NCIP as well. No, kasi sila ang may data talaga, records of specific tribes, no, kung anong tribes ang marami sa Mindanao, which area. Actually for this year, every year naman bali 6 LGUs ang pinapadalhan natin ng sulat. Nag-different po to every year. So 2018 ibang LGUs, for 2019 ibang LGUs naman po. And for this year, 6 din na ibang LGUs ang sinulatan natin. Actually for this year, we wrote letters for La Union, Zambales, Bukidnon. So this is Cebu, even from Bacolod and Palawan. Another one in Visayas. So we wrote these LGUs, and dahil nga merong pandemic, kaya medyo there were meetings na dapat na scheduled but due to the pandemic, we had to stop everything. So yun, and probably next year pa magre-resume if ever everything goes back to normal.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Comm, Maxey, and EA Carlo for sharing your project to us. At least we are aware now that the PEC already promoting this kind of projects, especially yung mga nasa-set aside natin pong IPs. Maraming pong salamat. But before we end, I would like to call in our next speaker to give us a brief background for our next webinar. Thank you once again. Let's give our
Wait, Ana.
Yes po.
Merong paki-check yung group natin. May last pa sinasabi si Sir Martin Gaigores Barona.
Okay, sige, later Ma'am G. Then we have our resource speaker coming from Pocari Sweat, Ma'am Sale. Okay. So later na po, so we can have some games po for you and also some questions that you need to answer. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am Rachel, yes po. So I will give you the floor now po. You can share your screen first, ma'am. And please wait for our Zoom participants and also from our FB Live participants for some announcements and games.
Hello, Miss Ana. Can you hear me po?
Yes po, ma'am.
Ayan.
Go, take it away.
Thank you, Miss Ana. All right. So that was indeed a very informative discussion, and I'm sure yung mga participants natin have gained much needed information about the topic. Of course, discussed by our PSC Commissioner, Mr. Charles Raymond Maxey. And of course, thank you rin, Sir Carlo Paulo Pates. Thank you, sir. Yan. So good afternoon everyone, and to our dear participants. I am Rachel Sale, a consumer relations specialist from Otsuka Solar Philippines Incorporated. So before we end up our webinar activity, let us have some game. So let's play a game. So our game is called Guess the Word. Ayan. So sino na pong familiar sa Guess the Word? So wala pa. Okay, I will explain the mechanics. So here's the mechanics. So it is basically a fill in the blanks or fill in the missing letters, and you will have to guess it with only a few letters. So the first one who will type the right answer or the right word through our chat box and through our FB Live will be the winner and receive a surprise package from Pocari Sweat. So meron tayo ritong Zoom, Team Zoom and Team FB Live. So, ang mangyayari dito, magiging alternate yung question. So, ang una munang sasagot will be Team Zoom viewers, and then for our second question will be Team FB Live. So, ang mangyayari, alternate siya. Alright? So, for our Team Zoom, so ang una muna pong sasagot, please be reminded, the Team Zoom will be the one to answer the question. Okay, are you ready? Yan. So for our wait lang po asan yung ating chat box? For our first question to our Team Zoom. So for our Team Zoom, are you ready? Yan. For our first word.
Ready.
Yan. Ready na daw po sila. For our first word, you have to guess the word. Yan. Blank. You have to guess this word. So, ang gagawin lang po, ito-type ng ating mga Zoom viewers ang tamang sagot. So yan, marami na po. I think we have our first winner. And our first winner is Mr. Benjamin Benji E. Wait. Mr. Benjamin Benji E. Sapanta. Alright, Mr. Benjamin Benji E. Sapanta, congratulations sir. Ang tamang sagot po is wait lang. Traditional. So, congratulations, sir. You will receive a Pocari Sweat package from Otsuka Solar Philippines. Alright. So, punta naman po tayo sa ating FB Live. So, check ko lang po ha, ang ating FB Live po. Alright. FB Live viewers, you have to prepare or be ready. FB Live. So, check ko lang po ha. Ayan. So, for our next word, for the FB Live viewers, ready na po ba? FB Live viewers? Okay, congratulations to, congratulations. Please be ready. So, you have to guess the word blank. Sige, check ko pa po kung meron. Ayan na. You have to guess the word blank. So, magbibigay po ako ng clue. So, you have to work together para magkaroon ng magandang output. Okay? Congratulations to Mr. Yer Ayadna. Mr. Yer Ayadna, let's take a look for our answer. Okay, the right answer is teamwork. Congratulations to Mr. Yer Adna. Okay, for our Zoom viewers. So, lipat naman po ulit tayo for our Zoom viewers. Okay, so for our Zoom viewers, you have to guess the word. Ayan. So, I'm sure you really know this because this is our speaker for today. So, yan. You have, I would like to remind na kailangan correct, wrong spelling is wrong. So, yan. Check po natin ang ating chat box if they got the right answer already. Okay. Upon checking, kailangan po complete yung answer. Okay. So, for our next winner is Miss Claudette Zapanta. Congratulations to Miss Claudette Zapanta. Ang tamang sagot po ay so the right answer is Mr. Charles Raymond Maxey. Alright. Congratulations, ma'am. Okay, next. Punta naman po tayo sa FB Live. Yan. For our FB Live, you have to guess the word blank. Ayan. Guess lang natin po yung word sa ating FB Live. Tandaan po natin, ang magsasagot o may karapatang sumagot po for our next word is FB Live viewers. Alright, let's check po our FB Live kung may nag-chat na. May nagsagot, electricity. Sorry ma'am, but no. Ayan. Alright, I think we have our winner. So our winner for this word is Miss Maria Teresa Perez. So, congratulations to Miss Maria Teresa Perez. So, ang tamang sagot po is electrolytes. So, when we say electrolytes, it performs many critical functions and they all work together to enable our bodies to function properly. And the major electrolytes are sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and chloride. So, alright. So, thank you po sa ating mga FB Live viewers. Okay, for our next word. So, ito naman po ay para sa ating mga Zoom viewers. So, are you ready, Zoom viewers? Alright, for our Zoom viewers, you have to guess the word. Yan. For our Zoom viewers, you have to guess the word. Wow, ang daming mabibilis po mag-type. Pero ang pinakamabilis mag-type para sa larong ito ay si, wait lang, si Mr. Okay, pagbigay po natin, meron kasi siyang sinagot na Pocari. Faster absorption. Congratulations to our Zoom viewers, Mr. Ronnie Baldos. Congratulations, sir. You will receive a Pocari Sweat package from Otsuka Solar Philippines. Alright? When we say faster absorption, yan. Faster absorption, did you know that Pocari Sweat is an iron supply drink and it has 2.2 times faster absorption than water. And it also has 57% longer retention rate. Okay? For our next and last word. So, ang sasagot po dito ay ang ating mga FB Live viewers. So, are you ready po, FB Live viewers? Ready na po ba? Okay? For our FB Live viewers, you have to guess the word. Yan. You have to guess the word blank. Ano po ba itong blank na to? Let's see. Sorry po. Correct. Mali ang spelling po is wrong. So, kailangan po nating ma-check uli. Alright. I think we got another winner for today. So, the right answer is hydration. And the first one who got the right answer is Mr. Emerson Fernando. Congratulations to Mr. Emerson Fernando. I think this is the last word. Yan, hydration. Drinking enough fluids helps to regulate the body temperature. It carries all the nutrients and oxygen to cells and maintain a healthy metabolism. And we need the proper balance of water and electrolytes to prevent dehydration. So yan. So congratulations po to all our winners for today. So yan. And before I end up our webinar games for today, I would like to invite you. I would like to invite our viewers to join the next webinar activity, which will be held on September 5 via Zoom and FB Live between 1 p.m. until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we will have an amazing speaker who will be sharing about anti-doping webinar to maintain the integrity and values of sports. So our speaker is Dr. Alejandro V. Pineda Jr., the head of Philippine National Anti-Doping Organization or FINADO and Philippine Sports Commission. So yan. So this is in partnership with, of course, Philippine Sports Commission and National Council for Physical Educators of the Philippines Incorporated. So yan. Congratulations again for our winners. And you'll receive a Pokar Sweat package from Otsuka Solar Philippines. And I hope nag-enjoy po kayo. So yan, hope to see you there and be at your best with Pokar Sweat. And thank you very much po sa ating mga dear participants. So thank you po, Miss Ana.
Thank you, Ma'am Rachel, sa mga Pokar Sweat packages. So those who won in our game, Sir Benjamin, Sir Yi Adna, Ma'am Claudette Zapanta, Maria Teresa Perez, Sir Ronnie Baldos, and Sir Emerson Fernando. So please contact us or send us your complete address. Tama po ba ako, Ma'am Rachel? Complete address po ba nung
yes,
para
po,
ipadala
yes,
yung
po,
package nila? Tama
yes,
po ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, complete address, full name, complete address, and contact number. So, to our NCPEP FB page or FB group, just send us an FB email or message through our FB page and group. Okay po? Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Rachel. I hope our FB group, FB Live participants and Zoom participants enjoy this game. But before we end our session, Ma'am G, kindly share our e-certificate to be given to our source speaker. Okay, allow me to read the citation of our e-certificate. Comm, Maxey, we will give this to you after the pandemic po, and or Papa LBC po namin. Okay, so National Council for Physical Educators of the Philippines, or NCPEP Incorporated, in cooperation with Rotary Club Jose Abad Santos, award this certificate of recognition to Commissioner Charles Raymond A. Maxey for imparting his valuable insight and expertise to physical educators during the NCPEP Fit Fun webinar series entitled Institutionalizing Philippine Sports Commission Indigenous Peoples Games, held on August 22, 2020, given this 22nd day of August 2020, Manila, Philippines. Signed, the President of NCPEP and our RCJ Abad Santos, Geraldine Cachola Minas. Maraming pong salamat, Comm.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you sa inyo. Thank you for sharing it.
Si Ma'am Rachel. Thank you rin po sa ating sponsor from Pocari Sweat, Ma'am Rachel. And also, I think we saw Ma'am Nelly is
Thank
here
you very
in our
much po.
Zoom. Ma'am Zenny Rollion also from the Office of Commissioner Charles Raymond Maxey. You can open your camera, our participants, to have a photo op with our commissioner and our resource speaker, together with EA Carlo from our sponsor from Pocari Sweat, si Ma'am Rachel, si Ma'am Nelly is there also, and also our all participants. And EA Carlo, can we share the email address where can we send our intention to be part of your project?
Yes po, through my email na lang po.
Sige. I'll just post it na lang po, sir, tas pati para i-communicate na lang po natin lahat.
Yes po.
Through NCPEP. Maraming pong salamat. Okay, let's take picture, guys. And also don't forget our links was already sent to you, our group chat, and also to the comment section of our FB page. We are giving you until tomorrow. This link is open until tomorrow po at 5 p.m. for your attendance. Ma'am G, picture.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Second grid, please.
Okay, ready. Okay na po.
Thank you very much po.
Thank you. Thank you to
Thank you so
everyone for
much.
joining.
Salamat
Thank you.
po.
Don't forget to our next session on September 5. We will try our best to have another one on August 29. But as of now, we have a webinar together with our resource speaker, Doc Pineda from Philippine Sports Commission, especially in Pinado po. So we would like to invite everyone to join us again on September 5. And please invite more friends and colleagues, okay, para sama sa atin, sa ating NCPEP family. Maraming salamat again, EA Carlo and Commissioner from Philippine Sports Commission, Commissioner Charles Raymond Maxey. Thank you, Comm. Maraming salamat
Thank you po, Comm.
Thank you very much po, Comm.
Don't forget our winners to email us on ncpep2016@gmail.com or send us a personal message through our FB group or FB Messenger. Thank you. God bless everyone.
God bless.
Thank you po.
Enjoy the
Salamat.
weekend.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you po.
And
G, happy
always
birthday
forgot-
kay Sir Pachola.
Thank you,
ma-open yung
Mama.
evaluation.
Ma'am G, I forgot. Also, we would like to invite you some of our activities this coming September, and also together with the Bureau Okay, so please don't forget to like the School Sports Division FB page for this upcoming webinar, also together with our friends from Department of Education, and also Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. I hope you join also this, our partners from One Pised and also from Europe School Sports Division, and also Place with Dr. Marshall. So we will just post some announcements regarding their webinars this coming September. Maraming maraming po salamat. See you again next week.